Hey Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those who are new, I know you can benefit. So I often say that I struggle with compulsive overeating, and that I've been part of the 12-step program and Overeaters Anonymous in particular, because it's given me tools that I never had in my life before that teach me how to abstain. And abstain is the same thing as refrain, to not participate in, to abstain from that tendency to compulsively overeat. My voice is going in and out because I did a ton of physical labor outside today, and it was 105, and I accidentally got dehydrated. But I am drinking water. I was anyway, but I'm really drinking water. So forgive me if my voice is going in and out. But I choose to abstain from that desire to eat compulsively. I don't want to shame myself by saying that I'm a compulsive overeater. A lot of people, I never felt shame about that. I joined Overeaters Anonymous when I was like 20, about 21, really committed to it at like 23. So it's been like 30 years. But it's only been in this last year that I've actually felt any shame regarding that proclamation, and it's because there's just certain people that tell me, well, you're affirming that, well, you're going to stay that way, well, you're staying sick because you say, I don't know, knowledge is power, and that's just sort of been my process. It doesn't mean that I'm participating in it, but I don't mind recognizing that that's something I struggle with. I really don't. So whatever, you welcome people's comments, and you take the risk of, deciding whether they apply or not. All right, anyway, so I do have daily thought books, and one of my favorites is this one for today by Overeaters Anonymous. And this is actually for today, and it's so applicable. And what it reads is, nature never deceives us. It is we who deceive ourselves. And that's by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Nature never deceives us. It is we who deceive ourselves. God, don't we know that? All the head games and everything, I so get that. So it says, nature did not make me a compulsive overeater. My hunger pains are like everybody else's. They tell me when I must take nourishment to sustain my life. So in the best case scenario, for people with no hang-ups at all, hunger pains simply indicate a signal that it's time to eat. Yay for people who can live like that. I love it. When I began eating to satisfy my emotional hunger, this simple mechanism went out of kilter, and it stayed that way until I became abstinent. And for me, in Overeaters Anonymous, the irony of compulsive overeating is that it eliminates hunger and intensifies cravings. Today, I live as nature intended me to live. I eat the food I need with all the pleasure, enjoyment, and freedom God wants me to have. I love that. So let me go over that one more time because it's pretty profound. Nature never deceives us. It is we who deceive ourselves. Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Nature did not make me a compulsive overeater. My hunger pains are like everybody else's. They tell me when I must take nourishment to sustain my life. When I began eating to satisfy emotional hunger, this simple mechanism went out of kilter, and it stayed that way until I became abstinent. In Overeaters Anonymous, the irony of compulsive overeating is that it eliminates hunger and intensifies cravings. Today, I live as nature intended me to live. I eat the food I need with all the pleasure, enjoyment, and freedom God wants me to have. That second part is completely true. When I am eating whole food, plant-based, and in my case, high-carb, low-fat, raw vegan, I truly just enjoy the food without any of the insanity that comes from chemicals or food-like products that would totally trigger me in the past. So I understand that mentally I may crave food, and that it has nothing to do with the actual, oh guys, sorry people. Like I said, I was so overheated today I could hardly think straight, but I wanted to check in. With the natural hunger pains that my body provides to remind me that I need to have nourishment. It's not even about that, but I am grateful that I have a plan today. And part of that is from the Tanny Raw Reset. If you're not familiar with Tanny Raw, she's a social media personality on every platform. And though she is primarily raw, or completely raw, forgive me, and primarily promotes that, she also encourages all forms of healthy eating. So, because I'm super into that raw reset right now, I think we're on day 11, it is keeping me abstinent and reminding me of what I love about eating food to sustain life and not living to eat. So the way that this is set up, it always has the quote, which I read, and then it has the body of it. One thing I'll touch on that, it says the irony of compulsive overeating is that it eliminates hunger and intensifies cravings. Oh my gosh, that is so true. I mean, yes, you have filled your body, absolutely. So you technically are no longer hungry physically. There is absolutely no need to eat. But in that method of gorging, binging, shoving food in your face, inevitably your cravings have gone crazy. It intensifies the cravings. I have done that so many times, eaten very cheap food with no fiber and no life-giving anything, which of course did not satiate me in any way, but significant, 3,500 calories, whatever, in a sitting, only to want way more. And also eating the entire kitchen, like going through every cupboard, everything, and consuming anything I could find, only to still crave the ultimate thing I wanted to begin with. You know that idea, that cat, Garfield, which is a cartoon, the big fat red cat. And one of his most famous lines is when he said, "Life is uncertain, eat dessert first." Though I hardly recommend eating dessert per se, unless it's something like banana and ice cream, had I chosen to eat dessert first, instead of sitting down and eating a gigantic meal, all the while just wanting the dessert, I probably could have really spared myself a few 100 pounds. Honestly. I'm just glad that's not my case today. I am on my way, my friends, to that best version of myself in the new year, as promised. Okay, so at the end, it always says for today, which is kind of like the ultimate conviction or goal. For today, normal eaters may occasionally indulge in eating to satisfy needs other than hunger, but I am abstaining from such uses of food. Normal eaters may occasionally, I don't even know what occasional is. My husband has a bunch of treats in the house right now, which luckily I've had the grace to avoid, and part of that is because I am using my Brooke Castillo Urge jar, which you can see is filling up. Honestly, I am just putting these in every minute because I'm trying to appease that little kid who's saying, "But what about us?" He has a bunch of treats right now. What's amazing is that he can abstain from them. I don't even know what that's like. He'll even say, "Well, hon, why don't you just have a couple?" A couple? Every time I buy sweets, my thought is to consume every bit before midnight so that I can start fresh tomorrow and be on my plan. There is no tomorrow, and by the time you have all the chemicals in your body, you're already screwed for the next day, right? So I say, "Honey, I can't just have one. I don't even understand you. I don't get how these have lasted for days, let alone hours." Not who I am. So normal eaters may occasionally indulge in eating to satisfy needs other than hunger, but I am abstaining from such uses of food. Yes, I am, and thrilled to do it. All right, what do you think of that, you guys? Does that apply to you at all? If it doesn't, that's fine. Wait for the next video. But if you can relate, I would love you to share in the comments below so that I can support you and feel supported. Like if you like, join us if you haven't, and until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.